Welcome to RTV. Today, in the program called Teaching English to the Sheep, we will discuss about how we should learn English. Whether we live in villages, whether we live in towns, or whether we live in cities. When as kids we go to school, as adults you go to college, or as employees, as teachers, many of you are generally scared of English language. Now, one of the feelings that many Indians have is that English is not our language. It is very, very difficult to learn English. Therefore, don't bother. This is because from childhood at home, children are taught to speak their own home language or state language. Let us say Telugu, Tamil, Malayalam, Hindi, whatever is the home language. In tribal areas, they speak, Koya, Gondu, or Banjara language, or whatever tribal language could be. That is their home language. Therefore, they think that, what is not home language is very difficult. That too, English is much more difficult than any other language to learn. Now, when you are students in the school, normally teachers, along with teaching you how to learn A, B, C, D, what we call alphabet writing, and then along with alphabets, they also gradually teach, sentences. A for apple, they say; B for bat, they say; C for cat, they say, and so on. But that sentences can be different. Actually, these sentences are not about the familiar things like apple fruit for all, because apple is not very much known in the villages. It is known in the urban areas. Let us say A for ant, B for buffalo, C for, of course, cat. Right? Things like that, we go on talking and making sentences. But after you go upwards into class 7, 8, and so on, teachers normally teach about grammar. Now, when they teach grammar, they tell the students that English is a difficult subject and you have to speak and write only according to grammar. Now, when a new language is taught, when the fear of grammar is put into the mind of school children, then they become very scary. They get afraid of it. Because the same problem of speaking according to grammar is not there in the childhood language that a child learns. Let us say no mother or no grandmother or no father, no grandfather, when they talk to the children, or children when they talk to each other, they don't first learn grammar and talk to each other. They learn language as they go on listening to the language. What are, people around saying in that particular language? Mother keeps telling, drink your milk, eat your food, and go and play and come and help me. These are simple sentences, and they are automatically learnt by the children in the process of learning carefully from what mother says, what others say, what father says, or what brothers and sisters say, or what friends say. So there's nothing like grammar when you are being taught at home. Now, this same thing happens in countries where English is home language. They also don't teach children first grammar, and then after that they begin to speak. Then after that, going to school and so on, they begin to write. No, it's not like that. Writing, of course, is learned slowly over a period of time. After children become, 6-year-old or 7-year-old or 8, 9, 10, so on, gradually. But speaking is not like that. Speaking is, as you keep on listening, you learn the language. And then as you keep on writing first letters and then words, then sentences, you also automatically learn writing without even much bothering about grammar. So what are two things that children or adults or elders, even the old people who want to learn English, let us say in Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Uttar Pradesh, or wherever, the best way to learn English is start listening. Regularly, you keep on listening when others are speaking, or now you have YouTubes, you have TVs, you have so many facilities. Even within your own phone, there are YouTubes which can provide you the English speaking YouTubes. So you can listen whenever you are free, whenever you are. Or the other way is, you can listen when your parents can speak English. So only parents have to consciously speak English if they are already educated, they know English at home. Because parents don't understand those who are graduates, postgraduates, or even doctorates, they are engineers, doctors, and so on, even professors. They avoid speaking in English even though they do their work in the office or teach in the school, college in English. They don't speak in English at home. Now that is a problem. If you speak English at home to your children, at least for some time on daily basis, they begin to respond to you in English without bothering about grammar. Because grammar is necessary only in certain forms. Once you are in class 7, class 8, if you learn some basic grammar, that is enough. But what is more required is how you constantly talk to each other. This is called conversation. Every parent or every friend or every other person who knows English, if they converse in English only, then those who do not know reasonably speaking English, they begin to learn it. English is the easiest language to learn. Then let us say, see, we are born in a Telugu speaking family. But quite easily in Telangana region, let us say, people learn speaking in Hindi and Urdu. Though the family does not speak, but in the market, in the friend circle, occasionally people talk about things in Hindi or Urdu. That language automatically comes to your brain, even though it is not spoken at your home. Now, what is a language actually? How does grammar connect the language? Language is nothing but you have different things at home or in the market or in the college. You have names for everything. So the first thing is you should know number of words to name each item that you know, or you know the words to connect with one another and form a sentence. Now, what are the sentences that you normally use even in your own known home language? Very simple sentences. Let us say, if you are a child or if you are an adult, if you are at home, your mother asks you, what are you doing? Where are you going? Did you eat your food? Or would you like to do this? So these are first questions. So language begins with questions. Any child learning begins with questions. So you ask questions without bothering about grammar. Whether one word you are putting in the front, one word you are putting on the back side, or where, it doesn't matter. If you have few words, then you can communicate. So communication is nothing but whether what you are saying is being understood by the other person with you or not. That's what language is. Language does not mean that in a particular structural form you will have to speak. No. Each one has one's own way to speak. So therefore, English learning in the speaking form is absolutely easy if you first start speaking to each other in the limited vocabulary that you have. Then how do you write? Writing is slightly difficult. All English knowing people are not writers. What every child at the end of their school examination, they write school examination. And they write some notes or some mathematics or some needed things. But all do not become writers. There is no need for becoming a writer to speak in English or communicate in English and become an expert in English at all. Now, how do you write? You write only when you read more and more. So this is a very important thing. In India, people don't read books. People don't seriously read newspapers. People don't read stories. People don't tell the stories that they read to others. So parents who are educated should develop a habit of reading books or newspapers or stories or novels in the presence of the children. That is the greatest method that parents can teach knowledge to children, and particularly in English, that is a very good method. And that's how I learned constantly reading and reading and reading and speaking even if you don't know much how to speak. You may be, as I am speaking to you, I may be committing number of mistakes. Doesn't matter. That's not the problem. The problem is whether people are understanding it or not. So please start speaking, reading, and then writing. Thank you very much. The next lesson will be on how our cities developed from villages. Thank you.